I don't think I have anything else to say. So I think we can just jump right into the next one, eh? You can't get there from here. Get where? Where we going? Where we dropping, boys? Can you imagine an SCP Foundation Battle Royale game? Yeah, I don't think that would work as much as I said. Like, I mean, SCP D&D game would be excellent, but an SCP Battle Royale game, I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work really well. I mean, you could do like a Dragon Ball The Breakers type of stuff, where like you get like to pick one SCP that like goes around hunting people, but then like it's also very limited. Oh, we got our keter. Local, our first keter in this whole reading. We had a bunch of Euclids, very little saves, one neutralized, and now we have one keter. Local disinformation campaigns are to be maintained in all cities hosting an instance of SCP-1698 with the intent to make all local residents or governmental officials believe that the locations are abandoned, closed for renovation or otherwise off limits. All locations are provided with portable generators and sufficient fuel to run them for no less than 30 days, in addition to supplies to accommodate up to 20 people for the same time frame. Any personnel or civilians trapped by an expansion event are to be offered a mercy termination. A mercy termination. That's the first time I hear that in the SCP Foundation stuff. A mercy termination. I mean, there has been a bunch of mercy terminations been done in the SCP stuff that I read, but it has never been officially said to be one. SCP-1698 is a phenomenon affecting 3 buildings: a 12-story hotel in USA, a two-story boarding house in France, and a 5-story office building in Brazil. The phenomenon affects these buildings such that none of them can successfully be approached by land. Although they can be seen, all attempts to reach them by foot or land vehicle result in encountering obstacles such as intervening buildings, extensive road damage, and attendant construction, gridlocked traffic, dead ends and road closures, and thick and impassable vegetation. Of note is that it is possible to navigate to locations immediately adjacent to these buildings, but invariably some impediment will prevent anyone from actually approaching the affected buildings themselves. Okay. Let me read that again, because I was daydreaming while reading. Which, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody that reads something that happens to them, they just read, but then like their mind just wanders off. Gotcha. So there's like a bunch of shit in the way to get to those buildings, making them almost unapproachable. All 3 buildings can successfully be approached by air, and MTF agents introduced by helicopters have discovered that there are no discernible abnormalities inside the buildings themselves, aside from the expected amount of neglect resulting from long-term lack of human presence. They further report that it is possible to exit these buildings at ground level, but as soon as they no longer have a direct view of the ground floor of the building, it again becomes impossible to locate. I see. It's like a building that basically like a building that you see from a distance, but the moment you try to get towards it, it's like you always kind of lose it. Researchers installed on site have not been able to detect any spatial anomalies or perceptual hazards, and O5 Command has tentatively approved the usage of these sites for long-term storage of infrequently accessed non-digital financial and administrative paperwork. Yeah, because like nobody can get in as long as you don't go by air. SCP-1698 was discovered in August 2010, with the Intelligence Office identifying multiple simultaneous online complaints from customers, employees, and residents of the affected buildings, all reporting the effects of SCP-1698. The Foundation confirmed these reports, and within 5 months has purchased all 3 buildings surrounding the location via shell companies. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense to buy all these buildings at the end. Like, if you go, especially if they're gonna use it for storing their own shit, might as well do that. But why is it keter though? Is it because like because you can still see it, and if somebody tries to like get close to it, like suddenly vanishes from their eyesight. On 2012, 4th 17th, the areas affected by SCP-1698 expanded. Oh, that's why it's Kita. Such that it is now no longer possible to locate and approach any location within 37 meters of the building originally affected. Additionally, 2 more affected locations were subsequently identified, centered around a small municipal park in Australia and an abandoned warehouse in Spain. Ooh, shit. A third location which appeared on this day was found to be an instance of SCP-2449. The significance of its concurrent manifestation is unknown. Kita just means to talk to... Oh, I am aware what Kita means. Howard, don't do this to me. I had a person before on YouTube being like... trying to like explain to me what Kita means, and I was like... I'm aware what it means. I just meant like... The moment I read this part, I was like, this doesn't seem very Kita enough. So now that it says here like, oh, it expands, and now there are multiple other Kita... other SCP-1698 locations popping up, that, and then like, yeah, now it makes sense why it's Kita. Because the fucking effect is expanding. Oh shit, sorry, it's a natural reflex. No worries. Don't forget, you are talking to the one that read 1,000 and almost 7. Well, actually, I have read 1,700 by now because I also read a couple joke ones. So, well, I remember like somebody told me to say like same thing. Like it's like, hey, somebody told me like Kita does not necessarily mean it's dangerous, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm aware. Because I read Kitas that are not dangerous, but I understand that they're hard to contain and they can cause a lot of info hazards for the Foundation. And I was like, I told the person, I was like, you really like, and I tried to be as nice as possible, but like it's very hard to explain. Like, do you think a person that read over 1,000 of these motherfuckers would not understand what Kita is by now? So nothing against you, by the way, but that person, when I saw that, I was like, my man, because he came across very like, he did that whole like, well, actually, and I was like, during the expansion event, 131 non-Foundation individuals were in the newly affected areas, consisting of 37 pedestrians, 78 people inside buildings, and 16 individuals inside vehicles. All found themselves unable to exit the area they were in, due to their inability to approach any area that would be considered separate. An example, individuals on roads could not access parking lot entrances, pedestrians could walk along sidewalks but not enter buildings or step off the curb, and individuals inside buildings could not utilize exterior doors. Attempts to evacuate trapped individuals by helicopter uniformly resulted in the failure of the individuals to reach the ladders due to intervening events such as sudden, extreme inclement weather or the ladders becoming entangled in trees or power lines. Yeah, now it's even trying to keep them in. SCP-1698 has been upgraded to containment class Kita until such time as it can be determined how to predict, prevent, mitigate, or reverse SCP-1698 expansion events. Good luck with reversing that shit, bro. Good luck reversing that. You can't get there from here. Imagine being stuck forever in the building that you're in. I know there are a bunch of hardcore introverts and NEETs in Japan, for example, that would absolutely love this. But I would say like, but the problem is you wouldn't even be able to get food, because imagine trying to order food, they wouldn't be able to get to you. Although like there's not really an explanation of people starving. But I think maybe I just completely forgot because we had the last couple of SCPs and my brain is malfunctioning. Did anybody die? Was there any signs of death? Let me actually double check that now that I said it out loud. It just says that the building shows neglect. But that could also mean that, like, yeah, somebody did die and they just, you know, they just didn't mention the dead bodies. But it could be that people. Because I highly doubt that this SCP will give those people that are trapped inside any means of survival, like food and toilet paper running out, you know, like stuff like that.